Welcome back to our SIStorials. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In today's SIStorials, we'll be using Morphe. So go ahead and grab your sister or your girlfriend so you guys can learn how to do your makeup together. Now let's begin. We'll be applying a contour using the HUDA BEAUTY TANTOUR in the shade Deep, and the tool that we'll be using today is the Morphe E8 Contour Defining Brush. We love using brushes to apply our contour because it helps create an even blend, especially with this being a cream product. You could apply it with the sponge, but it's best to do with a brush, especially when you're doing it with a clean canvas. Before we had started this video, we already applied primer. We used the Angel Veil primer from NYX, and then we had used the Morphe Banana Rich setting powder to set all over her face to guarantee that the makeup stays on all day. Proceeding on to step 2, we're applying the Morphe C4.45 concealer. It's a full coverage concealer, so we're going to use it to help set under her eye, to remove any dark spots under her eye, over her lips, on the bridge of her nose, and on her forehead as well. We're going to go ahead and let it sit for a little bit. It does dry pretty fast, so you have to work as fast with this product. I definitely do recommend this if you guys want to help change the definition of your face, but not too much. All it does is enhance. Going in with our Sis & Co chocolate drop, we do recommend that you use it while wet. You can find it on www.sisandco.com for your very own Sis & Co chocolate drop. So you're going to use the very tip of this precise top to get into the crevices underneath the eye. Make sure that your guest or even yourself that you're looking upward, so you can make sure you get it underneath the eyes so it can have a perfect flawless blend. We love to use wet sponges because the sponges, while wet, helps the product not seep into the sponge, because I don't know if you ever tried this before, but when the sponge is dry, it just soaks up. So while it's wet, it helps bounce the product off towards your face where it's supposed to be, not inside the sponge. So yeah, so make sure that you're using the leftover concealer. You could put it around your eye and make sure you're smoothing out the edges. Don't be afraid to get it all over to blend towards the contour, because that's when the foundation goes in. Y'all, I was making fun of my sister at this point. It was really funny. So we're gonna go in with our Morphe Soft Focus Filter Effect Foundation in the shade Deep 34. We're gonna apply it directly towards the skin, and then we're gonna use our chocolate drop beauty sponge to apply, help work the foundation into the skin. As you guys can see, the harsh yellows, the harsh dark browns is all going to blend perfectly once we apply this foundation all over the skin. Make sure that the foundation is saturated with water. With it being saturated with water, it helps with the application to make it more smoother versus it being so harsh and being so rough and dry towards the skin. Remember, your skin loves hydration. Your skin loves moisture. For my oily girls out there, your skin loves water. Okay, so go ahead and work that foundation into the skin. We're not going to finish here. We're going to go ahead with our concealer from Morphe as well, which is the shade C4.35. We're just going to go back and add some natural highlights just to brighten the skin. Some people could choose to stop right there and set their eyes with setting powder and stuff like that, but we're going to do a full glam look. So applying some concealer onto the eyelid, underneath the eye, and at the bridge of the nose. and lightly on the forehead is going to bring back that hydrated, highlighted look. We're using one shade lighter from the original shade of 4.45 to 4.35 to help lighten up and brighten under the eye. So make sure as you're applying this concealer that you're using the bottom of the beauty blender to help blend towards the cheek outward, blend from the edge of the forehead outward. So you guys are going to see me go bounce from the tip to the bottom of the chocolate drop to help blend out the concealer. So now we're just going to go ahead and start off with the contour again, just to bring back some definition towards the face. I went back in with the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Deep. Whatever was left over on a brush, I lightly brushed it onto the brush, and I'm just bringing back some definition. You're probably thinking, girl, you're doing double the work. Honestly, I'm not, because instead of you having to work with that extra harsh dark line, you could go ahead and do it before and lightly dust it off after. We're gonna go ahead and do her brows using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen in the shade Chocolate. We're gonna apply it directly to her brows. We already brushed her brow hairs going upward into the natural direction of her brow hairs, and now we're just creating hair-like strokes back and forth from the beginning to the back. I would recommend to lightly apply it in the beginning of the brows and get a deeper shade towards the back, and make sure you're doing light hand strokes. We're going to use the Morphe Concealer in the shade 4.45 and clean up the brows. It helps create a more fresh brow wax appearance, especially after doing your eyebrows, because sis didn't get her eyebrows waxed yet, and I forgot to clean it before doing this video. So we're gonna go ahead and apply the concealer on top and below the brows to help create and define a better, clean, groomed shape. And we're gonna go and use our Sis & Co. chocolate drop to blend out this concealer. Like I said before, the concealer dries really, really fast, so make sure you're working at a timely manner. And also be sure that your chocolate drop or any makeup sponge that you're using is saturated with water, because the Morphe brand can be super drying in like 2 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and blend, and make sure you're going back and forth with the actual chocolate drop or whatever makeup sponge that you're using. That bottom section that we use for the foundation, we're gonna use that to help blend out the edges of the concealer, so it doesn't have that harsh look. Guys, we're not in the early 2010s when we were learning how to do brows and it looked like upside down checks, okay? And we're gonna go back with our Morphe E8 brush and use the excess, whatever that was left over from the bronzer, to help blend out any harsh lines that we left after applying the concealer and cleaning out the brows. So my girl is looking cute. And going in with the Banana Rich powder from Morphe, we're gonna brighten underneath the eye, on the bridge of her nose, also her brows, and use the leftover to apply on her forehead and on her eyelid to help create a base and set all the liquids and creams that we applied all over her face. We're gonna also chisel out underneath the contour line to create a better definition, especially when it comes to photos. We're gonna go ahead and press it in. Don't glide it, but press it in. We're gonna do a light bake, and you're gonna appreciate me for this because light bakes is the perfect bake, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and dust this thing all the way in and just blend, blend, blend. Do not be afraid. Going in with the Morphe Glam bronzer is also for your face and body. We're going to use the shade Leader, which is the deepest shade that they have available. We're going to go ahead and bronze all over the face. Any area that we applied any of the Tantour, we're going to put it right on top. All it's going to do is help create better definition and help define her face, especially in photos and in person. Some people will assume that creating a glam look has to make you look like you put too much makeup on. You really don't. I probably consider this a soft glam look, but it's more full glam because the eyeshadows has like shimmers, but you'll see that later in part 2. Going in with our Morphe Filter Finish color in the shade F13, we're gonna go ahead and blend out the excess setting powder to remove any harsh colors or any dry patches throughout the skin. We love using a finishing powder. Some people will use it as just a foundation powder, but I definitely love to use it to help blend out any colors or any harsh lines that were not set in with the setting spray. Now going in with the Black Radiance blush in the shade Warm Berry, we're going to go ahead and soften up and add some color to those cheeks. I love this color, especially on days where you want to have like that overly blush look. You could overly use it, or you could lightly use it like I'm doing. I definitely would recommend this color for anybody in a deeper or darker shade range. And I guess this is it. We're gonna go ahead and check out part 2.